he hears me talking to other people. And as long as he's near me, we've been like trying to court him off in the house. And we've just recently found out after a year of doing this that just let him over and he'll sit quietly a couple feet from the mat. You know what I mean?
That's good.
But then he'll lay down because he realizes something's going on and he's not involved. So you never know. It's taken me a year to just let him roam. So I just, he bothers me for a few minutes and then he settles down. So, but it's different for all of them. And
I know.
they're so cute. I give him a favorite bone too during yoga class so that he can enjoy that.
I'll see if that works. First of all, yeah, we'll see if this works.
God, he may calm right down because this is such a calming practice. Okay, so I see some more folks here. Welcome to yoga class. So we're going to get started. My name is Julie. If you're new to yoga practice with me, hello. It's nice to meet you in this platform. I'm teaching yoga for over 15 years. And I have a couple of firm beliefs when it comes to yoga. One, please don't do anything that feels uncomfortable. Please. Yoga is about getting to feel and be inside your body without judgment, with all kinds of compassion. So you don't want to do anything that's going to make you feel really tense or furrow your brow or be painful in any way, make you feel very uneasy. So draw back, rest when you need to, and go at your own pace. Yoga, the movements of yoga asana, the positions, it's how your body interprets them, not some point that you need to get to. So however your body interprets the yoga asana, that's a wonderful thing. All right, so please go at your own pace, rest when needed. Don't do anything that your healthcare professionals have told you not to do. Right? Always honor your body. Secondly, it's nice to have props. And what could be a prop? Anything that fills up the space between your body and the floor can be considered a prop. So it could be a couple of yoga blocks. If you don't have those, you could use books of approximately the same size or some kind of Tupperware container that's strong enough that won't slide on the floor. Having some folded up blankets can help as well, or cushions. And sometimes we use a strap, and a strap could be the belt from your bathrobe. It really doesn't matter, or an old necktie. So, as we go through class together, certain weeks we may be using certain props. First and third Thursday are always floor yoga, and the second and fourth Thursday are chair yoga. But I do have people that do chair during the floor week and floor during the chair week, and that's okay. All right, so we can definitely modify it for whatever we need. So let's start in a seated position if that's possible for you. And if you could, again, my name is Julie, welcome to class. Let's sit well. So what is sitting well, right? For some of us that are very uncomfortable on the floor, it's sitting up on a little height. I use one of these blankets. You can fold up a blanket. So sitting well. Sit to the front of your sit bones. So if you know where your pubic bone is right here in the center, kind of draw it downward towards the floor between your legs a little bit, the front of your sit bone. This will lift you up through the spine so that you can sit a little taller. You're going to feel your abdominals contract and engage in to keep your torso lifted, and that's a gorgeous thing. We'll roll our shoulders back a few times. You can take some nice big inhales and exhales, inhaling up with the shoulders, exhaling back, just doing that a few times, inhaling up and exhaling the shoulders back, and just notice what kind of range of motion you have in your shoulders today. It's a great time to get to know yourself. What's feeling a little sticky? What's feeling open? Are you feeling froggy, or are you a little tired today? It's okay. Tap into all of that. Do it the best that you can. Practice is all about doing what you can do and leaving the rest behind. No worries. And then the shoulders roll down and back and soften away from the ear. You can relax your hand. Gently bring one ear towards one shoulder. This is just letting the weight of your head and gravity do the work. And inhale up, bring the other ear to the other shoulder. Awesome. And go back and forth, keeping yourself sitting up nice and tall, sitting well. And you go back and forth, inhaling and exhaling. We hold a lot of stress in the top of our shoulders, right? And around the neck area. So it's really nice to pay a little bit of slow attention, I guess. It's a great way to put it, slow attention. move purposefully so we can really notice what's going on. Feeling it, feeling it. And up and over. Beautiful. So let's just take a moment here. If you want, you can close your eyes, or you can look forward on the floor 3 or 4 feet, just soften your focus, and just breathe. That's all. Just feel your body breathe itself. Notice the inhalations and exhalations. Notice any sensations that you feel in your body as you breathe. You might feel sensations of the nostrils, sinuses, the expanse of the chest, the throat. You may notice feelings at the belly. Let your body breathe itself. See if you can soften the shoulders a little bit more. Still sitting well. Just softening a little bit. Before we start moving, let's kind of activate down a little bit. Let's move some of we'll regulate ourselves downward. So take a nice inhale and maybe count in your head to 2 or 3 or 4 as you inhale. And then as you exhale, lengthen the exhalation, maybe counting a little longer than you did for the inhalation. Inhale, count to whatever number works for you. Exhale, count, and lengthen the exhalation. And not to force it or push it. By lengthening our exhalations, we can calm ourselves, move our body away from the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, and move ourselves towards the parasympathetic nervous system response. Rest, adjust, way of softening, so we can feel a little more present. Down and regulate a little bit. Just breathe and lengthen the exhalation. May move you into a better space, might make you feel more comfortable and at ease. And then breathing normally. Think about what your intention for practice is. Why did you turn your computer on? Why did you join this today? What was your intention for practice? No right or wrong answer. It's just seeing what it is, why you're here. And then go ahead and open your eyes. So we have our intention for yoga practice, and so just do what you can do and just enjoy the ride, the way we like to say it. So rolling the shoulders back, let's take the hands out, turn the palms up, and inhale up. And turn the palms down, exhale down. Staying nice and tall, still sitting to the front of the sit bones. Notice how you reach down and root down through the hips so that you can rise up to the sides of the waist. We root down to rise up. You can notice this in very many yoga postures. Inhaling up and exhaling down and just moving at your own pace. If crossing your legs is uncomfortable, you can always put them out in front of you. And again, I advocate using a folded blanket or some kind of cushion to sit up on. And then just rolling the pubic bone forward so that you can sit on the front of your sit bones, whatever you're sitting on. And exhale. Gorgeous. So fingertips, what they call this potted palm position. So it's basically adjacent to the hips. So you're still sitting up nice and tall. Inhalation. So when we think of our inhalation before we twist, let's kind of lift the rib cage up away from the top of our pants just a little bit. And then exhale and turn to the right. You may place your left hand over on the right knee or not. You can take the opposite hand back behind you, still staying up tall. This doesn't have to be a big twist. When we're ready, inhale back to the center position. And exhale, twisting to the left. So you can bring that opposite hand to the opposite knee and take the back hand behind you, just whatever's comfortable. just do that a few more times, inhaling to the center, exhaling to twist to one side. Go at your own pace with your breath. Notice how the exhalations draw the abdominals in, right? When you're twisting and you exhale, they hug in around that center line of the spine. Very supportive. Center, exhale. Center, exhale. Take up nice and tall. Think now as you twist about the back of your shoulders. So your big shoulder blades. So you have these big bony plates on your upper back that are your shoulder blades. So when you are twisting to the left, for example, your right shoulder blade is moving to the left and your left shoulder blade is moving back behind you. You feel that in the upper body. Inhale, center. Imagine those plates, those big shoulder blades. Think of them like the way you would steer a toboggan, right? Inhale, center. Exhale. So a lot of the twisting comes from the more upper part of the spine, which is more mobile for twisting. And when you had enough of those twists, you sit. Notice how the body feels, because it's always great to kind of feel what's left in there after you've done some movement. Now we're going to do some side bending. We always cover the 6 positions of the spine in the yoga class. So once again, hands in potted palm position. We're going to take this right palm up, inhale, and then exhale as we reach over. So do what's comfortable. It's okay if your arm is here. It doesn't have to be way over here. And just think about opening up this right side, right along the rib cage, kind of stretching the tissue and the muscles along the side of the rib cage. And then we'll switch, belly nice and firm as you move from side to side. We need to keep the muscles firm, the back and the front hugging in towards each other so that we have support here. We're not gluing our hips to the floor or the mat. Think about that, getting us a little bit more mobility along the rib cage and go back and forth. Take your time. Imagine that you're stretching along the rib cage like tapping, stretching gently the rib cage like tapping on each side. Inhaling and then exhaling over, keeping the heart and chest open towards me. It doesn't matter how far you side bend. You want to just keep your heart open to the center position, okay? And after you've done enough on each side, you kind of feel like you've had enough of that. All right, just come back to the seated position, sitting well, sitting up nice and tall. You're going to do a reach up. You have the option of clasping your fingers and then pressing your palms if that's comfortable to you, or just placing the back of, the palm of one hand across the back and press upwards. And it's okay if you cannot unbend your elbows. It's okay if your arms are slightly forward. Just sit up tall. Give yourself that nice reach. Your chin should be parallel to the ground. You should be able to move your neck easily. Inhale here. Exhale, fingertips behind the ears, just to widen the elbows. So there's that shoulder blade area again. This time they're hugging together on the back of your body. Keep the back of the skull moving back. Sometimes when we open our chest, we thrust our chin forward, our jaw forward. Let's keep it moving back. And once again, inhale up. And exhale, fingers to ears. And again, inhale up. And exhale, fingertips behind the ears. Great job. Now we're going to take the hands out in front, and you're going to let your palms face inwards. So I have one palm to it, and we're going to reach them out. So straightening the elbows a bit. And now you may feel a little strain on that upper part of your back. Bring the feeling of stretch down between your shoulder blades, so a little lower. We're all ladies here, so I can say, ladies, where your bra strap is. And when there's gentlemen in the room, I always say, gentlemen, where the ladies' bra strap usually is. And that works. So we're just opening up. We're not rounding the whole spine forward. We're just opening up our shoulder blades. Awesome. And I'm just going to release the hands. Bring the fingertips all the way up. Inhale up. And let's take those twists. Exhale, take a turn to one side. You can choose. Again, think about those shoulder blades on your back, helping guide and steer you as you twist. Inhale up. You can bring the hands overhead. You don't have to if you don't want to. Only do what works for you. Now we're going to come back to the center. Awesome. So we're going to practice a few things. Let's bring the hands behind us. Now, you may not be able to hold your thumb or clasp your hands, and that's okay. You can just bring them behind you. You don't have to clasp them. But think about the shoulder blades sliding down your back towards the back of your pants. Move the skull straight back a little bit and just feel some stretching and opening going on across the front of the chest. You feel the shoulder blades drawing together and sliding down. Opening up these really tight muscles in the front of the shoulder joints, in the front of the chest, can make it more easeful to breathe. Inhale, now releasing the hands, and we're going to hinge forward from our hip joints, hinge forward, and walk the fingertips out a little bit, and then softly round the spine, just a little bit. The lower spine, the mid spine, we're not just going to drop our heads and hunch over, put your hands on the floor, whatever works for you. We're just giving a little bit of forward bending. Breathe in and breathe out. Just an even rate of curve in the spine. Your head is not dropping faster than another part of your spine. And then pulling the belly button in, walk your hands in and uncurl up, roll the shoulders back. So we can put these all together in a type of flow before we get off of our seat here and start to move a little bit more. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, you can interlace the fingers or place the palm. Inhale, press down through your sit bones, reach up through your palms, inhaling. Exhale, fingertips behind the ears, elbows nice and wide. Skull moving back. Good job. Inhale, press up once again. On the exhale, we're going to turn the palms in and stretch between the shoulder blades. On the next inhale, the fingertips come up, and we exhale to our twist, whatever side you'd like to twist to. Thinking about those shoulder blades steering us to the side. Inhale, center, fingertips come back up, if that's comfortable for you. And exhale to the other side, steering with the shoulder blades, bellies drawing in towards the spine. Now when we come back to center with our chest, bring the hands behind you. Open up the front of the chest and shoulders. Good, relaxing through the back of the neck. One inhale here. Exhale again, pull the belly button in, walk the hands forward, and just softly curve the spine. Doesn't have to be huge. Softly curving the spine. And when you're ready, walk the hands in, pull the belly button in and up to uncurl. And let's bring those fingertips back behind our hips just a little bit so we can really sit down to the sit bones, reach up to the tops of the ears. Inhale here, and exhale, hands to heart. So we're going to just do that series one more time. You're going to go at your own pace, okay? Inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, fingertips behind the ears, skull moving back, nice and tall. Inhale, press up. Exhale, palms turn in, opening up the shoulder blades. Inhale, fingertips, and exhale to your twist. Inhaling center, exhaling to twist to the other side. Inhaling to the hands coming behind the back, open up the chest. And on our next exhalation, the belly button draws in as we hinge and round the spine, walking the fingertips just a little bit. And pulling the belly button in, inhale up, and exhale the fingertips to the hip position, nice and tall. Great job, awesomely awesome. So the last thing I'd like to do before we come to all fours is stir the pot. So you have a spinal column here that's sitting in the bowl of your pelvis, right? So let's stir the pot. Let's move the spine in a circle. It's kind of, I like to think of this sometimes as a mortar and a pestle, but some people consider it stirring the pot. So you're just kind of rounding the spine. And these can be big or small, depends on how your hips and your back are feeling today, right? So sometimes I go way back. I even like curl my spine a little bit. I go forward and I press my heart. So you can make it bigger. Think about your abdominals, either releasing or strengthening. It would release as you press the chest forward. They would pull in and strengthen as you round the spine back. Or this could be really, really small for you. Make sure you circle in both directions, so go the other way. And your hips are going to rock around, and that's gorgeous. You have to understand that any movement that happens at the lower back is going to incorporate the hips and vice versa. They affect each other a lot. They work together. They are the best of friends. So we try not to separate actions of the pelvis from the lower back, from the lower spine. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then come back up to the center position. Awesome job. So the next thing that we're going to do is come onto all fours. So pad as needed. Okay, I have 2 yoga mats down here because I have arthritic knees. So you can pad, you can put a blanket over your mat. There's a lot of things you can do. Or if you have a small towel or blanket, you can fold it and put under where your knees are. Okay, so we're going to come to gorgeous, very good. So all fours position is often misunderstood. So the knees need to be about as wide as your hips and the knee joints underneath the hip joints. Now, when it comes to your hands and wrists, a lot of people will put the wrists directly under the shoulders. That's too much pressure. So move the wrist slightly forward so the heel of your palm lines up to the top edge of your shoulder, all right? And spread the fingers as is comfortable for you. Notice the weight moves to the heels of your palms. Try to turn your inner elbow creases to look at each other and move the weight more to the base of the thumb and index finger and hug down with the pads and joints of your fingers. All right, here comes cat-cow stretches. Roll the shoulders back, lift the tailbone, let the belly hang down, stretch the heart forward and up. This is a big stretch. This is cow pose, a big stretch for the whole front of your torso. You can breathe and just let the belly hang. And then on the next inhale, we're going to push into our fingernails and lift the belly button up, round the spine, let the tailbone gently draw itself between your thighs. Relax your head down as is comfortable. Just kind of elevate the whole spine. Lift it up like the top of a hot air balloon. Round and lift in. And then you can move between the two. If you like, you can roll the shoulders back, tilt the pelvis for cow pose, inhaling. And then as you round the spine for cat pose, you can exhale. Or you can exhale for the cow pose and inhale for the cat pose. Or you can just hold each one for a few breaths and transition as you are comfortable. But these are the last 2 positions of the spine. This is a great warm-up for our spine. So the twisting and the side bending, and then these movements here, extension and flexion of the spine, to the 6 movements, a great way to warm up your spine every day. Do a little bit of those if you want. Remember, try not to let all the weight move to the heels of your palms. Move the weight to the inside edges of the hands, the base, the index finger, and thumb. Not so much the pinky side. Okay. Beautifully. Come to the center position. Awesome. So I'd like to do a little twisting here. Let's sit our hips back first and turn our palms up and bring our forearms onto the ground. This gives us a chance to circle our wrists one direction and the other. Give our wrists a little bit of love here. They may not be used to this type of extension, all right? So we want to be very careful and rest our wrists when needed. And movements, if you have issues with your wrists, movements like cat-cow can be done on your forearms. Just come to all fours, bring your forearms down. You can definitely do them there. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of twisting, and we're going to notice what feels better. So come to the all fours position once again. Those are the palms, front edge of the shoulders. Great. So what I'm going to ask you to do is from the all fours position, the knees or hips width apart, roll the right shoulder back and place your right hand on your right hip and gently twist your heart and your chest to the right. Just notice how this feels. You may not twist very far, and that's okay. Push away from the earth with the hand that's touching the ground. Be active there. Now your left shoulder blade is pressing forward toward your screen, and your right shoulder blade is pressing back. Try not to lift the chin. Keep the head nice and neutral. Forehead higher than the chin, just by a bit. Inhale here, exhale, release. Go ahead and take a sit back just for a few breaths here. You can bring the forearms in. You can circle the wrists. You don't have to do that if your wrists are fine. And then we'll come back up to all fours once again and twist to the other side. Inhale here, exhale, place the left hand on the left hip and turn your torso to the left. Keep your knees and your hips lined up. You're not going to feel a lot of big opportunity to twist here. Your hips are more in a fixed straight position, so we'll discuss this in just a minute. But today we're talking about twisting. So the right shoulder blade is pressing forward towards the heart, the left shoulder blade pressing back towards the spine. Inhale here, and exhale, bring the hand back, and give yourself a sit back for a moment. Awesome. So now we're going to change it a little bit and notice how this changes how the twist feels for us. Let's come back to the all fours position. Now what I'd like you to do is move your right knee on the mat a few inches forward of your left. Still have the heels of the palms to the front edge of the shoulders. And now when you're ready, roll the right shoulder back and turn. Wow, right? Much more opportunity to twist here, right? Push away from the earth with that left hand. Some of you may even want to bring your hand up. It feels good to you. You know, but you don't have to, ever. It just depends on how you're feeling across the front of the chest and shoulders. But you definitely have more of a capacity here. That's because we recruited our hips to help us twist through the lower spine, which makes us feel comfortable all the way around. Inhale here, exhale down. Great job. So let's move that right knee back. So now we're going to do it on the left side. So move the left knee a few inches forward. Right hand. When you're ready, inhale, turn the heart to the left. You keep the left hand on the left hip. You can raise it up to the side. It's completely up to you. How does it feel? Push away from the earth with that right hand that's against the floor. Nice open chest. Inhale here. And exhale, release that hand down. Beautiful. Take that left knee back. Now you can widen your knees a little bit if this is going to help you feel more comfortable. As we bring our hips, we lift our pelvis up, 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 and we bring our hips towards our heels. So you may need to widen your knees a little bit, or you might keep them together. And just walk the forearms in for child's pose. So you may not be able to get your tuchus all the way to your heels. And what some folks will do is they'll put a folded blanket between their calves and the back of their thighs, so they can rest more comfortably here if they can't get their hips all the way back. Let the forearms rest down. Find a place where you can feel comfortable in this pose, which is called child's pose. In child's pose, we tuck the elbows closer to the knees if we can, and we round the spine. So we let the tailbone tuck a little bit, we round the spine. So traditional child's pose is more like cat pose, actually. It's a big stretch in the back of the hips, back body. And we can add extension to this position if we straighten the spine. So with your hips back, wherever they are, so it's okay if they don't go real far back, all right? Let's walk the hands out in front of us, nice and long. So the hips are reaching back and the hands are reaching out. So now the back is no longer rounded, it's more flat and straight. Head is between the arms. If you like and you're feeling froggy today, you can come up on your fingertips. This is going to recruit a little bit more strength in the arms and back, okay? We just want to make sure that we don't drop our head or our chest way down through. Keep the head between the upper arms. Let's walk the hands to the right corner so they may come off your mat all the way to the right corner. And again, you can keep the forearms and the palms down. This is a side bend. Breathe into the left lung. Breathe into the left side of your ribs. If you're seated in a chair, you'll be reaching overhead and over to the right. Take a breath into that left lung, a few breaths. Nice and stretched. And then walk the hands back to the center. Inhale here. And exhale to walk the left corner, stretching through the right lung. Now we got the other side. You can again have your palms down and your elbows off the floor. You can have your forearms down. You can get on your fingertips. If you're up on the fingertips, lift up to the pits of the armpits. Center of the armpits, lift up. If you're on your fingertips. And inhale, walk the hands back. Awesome job in child's pose. So we're talking about twisting. Let's come back to the all fours position now. Good job, good job. So twisting isn't easy. What it does, and you may notice, is it warms your body up. It's not a lot of movement, but it's very warming. Okay. Add a little forward bending in before we do some more twisting. Forward bends and twists are very friendly. After forward bends, twists are neutralizing. So it's kind of a fun thing to do. So let's do a little bit after back bending. So let's do a little bit of back bending. So sitting the hips back towards the heels, reach the arms out in front. We're just going to work a little bit on this plank, this knee down plank position. So with your arms reaching out, the inner elbows look at each other. Your neck should feel free. And then when you're ready, hug the right and left sides of your rib cage in towards each other and inhale your torso forward over your hands. So this is knee down plank pose. Okay? So the knees are down, but you're really feeling that your waist has to work because we don't want our heavy hips to dump to the floor. So keep the hips lifting, hug the right and left sides of your rib cage together. Try to press out through the pads of your fingers. Inhale here and exhale, press back. So we're just going to do a few of these. Okay? Inhale forward, we're still on our knees. It's just knee down plank pose or knee down push-up type position. And then inhale in here, exhale back. We want to keep the spine neutral. So we really have to work hard on stabilizing the spine by using the abdominal muscles. So we want to hug the right and left sides of the rib cage in towards the center. And exhale back. Great job. This time, we're going to lower to the floor. So you're going to inhale forward. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the elbows in towards the sides of the waist and lower the body down. Here's the best part. You can wiggle your hips and move your thighs a little bit further apart to where your lower back feels comfortable. Tops of the feet go down and the heels roll out to the sides. Let's slide forward onto our forearms. So our elbows are underneath our shoulders and our hands are out here. So this is a very, very simple back bend. Hopefully it feels comfortable to you. The elbows are tucked in a little bit. Again, we want the elbows underneath the shoulder joints if at all possible. Imagine using the muscles of your arms as if you were going to drag your elbows back towards your feet. Feel what happens to the lower back. Keep the front of the shoulder joints wide. Just breathe. You're going to feel a big arch in the spine from the lower back all the way up. Strength in the back body is so important for our posture. And inhale here. Exhale, release, lower the whole chest down, widen the elbows. I'd like you to reach your arms out in front of you now. So looking down at the floor, you don't need to lift your head up. You can listen to me talk. You don't necessarily have to see me the whole time. Looking down at the floor, maybe your nose is an inch from the floor, okay? So nice long neck. We're simply going to lift our right arm and our left thigh up off the floor a few inches. So on an inhalation, lift from the upper left thigh, the left leg off the floor, and lift the right arm. Keep looking a little bit down. As your heart lifts a little bit, your face can move, your head can move. Just a little bit higher. Good. Keep the knee soft on the back of that left leg. Toes relaxed a little bit, or maybe just a little engaged. Inhale here, exhale lower. And let's try the other side. Inhaling, lifting up the left arm off the floor and the right leg from the upper right thigh, keeping the back of the right knee soft. Just a few breaths here, really strengthening all those muscles along the spine and the muscles of the back body. Here, and we'll do it again. So again, it's opposite arm, opposite leg. Lift on an inhalation, lift till you feel the hips, the front of the hips are what anchors you. And then on exhalation, lower. Then on inhalation with the other side, really feel the strength in the back. And exhale, lower. Once again, each side, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Beautiful. After you've done a set, so on each side, let's bring the arms by our sides now. So arms by our sides, thumbs down, palms facing in. So let's roll the shoulders back so we can get some engagement with the shoulder blades down our spine towards the back of our pants. Keeping the tops of your feet down, right? The heels are still rolling out a bit. You can feel your thigh bones, and I don't want you to tuck your tailbone. Just feel the thigh bones pressing into the ground. And on an inhalation, lift the whole torso and the hands off the floor. Just a few inches. Keep the fingers relaxed. Keep the front of the chest wide, front of the shoulders wide apart. No strain into the neck. Pressing down a little bit to the tops of your feet, into the thigh bones. Inhale here and exhale lower. We can do that again. When you're ready, pressing into the thigh bones, the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift the torso, lift the hands. No strain in the neck. Be able to move the head and neck. Just breathing. Inhale here and exhale lower. Now you have the option of lifting the legs and the upper body. You do not have to. You can lift the upper body and one leg and then come down and do the other leg. So you choose what's going to work for you. And we're going to do this 4 more times, okay? So when you're ready, inhale, rolling the shoulders, lifting the upper body and maybe both legs, but maybe not. Maybe just one leg. And exhale, lower. And then once again, maybe you're lifting just the upper body and one leg or both legs. And lower. Just breathing. Maybe you want to hold it for a few breaths. That's cool too. Inhale and lifting. Maybe you're just doing the upper body and then just the lower body. Maybe you're not putting them together. And lower. We don't want to feel any tightness at the back of the knees. So nice soft bend in the knees. And then here we go. Maybe your last one. Lift. Make this one bright and lifted. Big smile with your body. Inhale here. Exhale lower. Oh, great job. Let's bring those hands so we can put our hands underneath our head. So stack your hands underneath your head and then turn your head to the right or left. You can rest your cheek on your hands. This is a great time to tune back into your breath. Feel how your belly does push-ups against the earth each time you breathe. Each time you inhale, you can feel the belly pressing against the ground. Each exhale, the belly softens. Awesome. So we're going to tuck the toes under now. One toes in the other. And we're going to place the hands back underneath the shoulder joints, elbows tucked in, and shoulder blades sliding down to the back of your pants. On an exhalation, you're going to puff with your belly and push with your hands. Move your torso up and back into all fours. Inhale here. Exhale, puff that belly up. Move back. Awesome job. Beautiful job. Opening up the hips can be really important for us, for our health, for the health of our spine. Having open hips so when we move, when we walk, when we climb, we have more comfort. Lunging, however, is an asymmetrical way to open up those hips, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. So we're going to take it nice and easy. This is when it's a great idea if you have blocks to have them to the right and left sides of your mat. You can put your hands on your blocks as needed. So from the all fours position, let's start by drawing the belly button in, rounding the spine just a little, like cat pose. Inhale here, and as you exhale, step the right foot forward up to your right thumb. So your right hand is on the outside of your right foot, and your left hand underneath your shoulder, your left shoulder. So your fingertips are underneath your shoulders. What may happen here is you may hunch your spine. This is when putting something under your fingers, whether it's cushions or whatever you have, can help you lengthen the spine. So the front knee and ankle need to line up. This is safety for your legs, okay? So fingertips on the floor, try to lengthen the spine, or again, put fingers on blocks. If you want to understand how it should feel, bring your torso up and roll the shoulders back. So now you're feeling a lot of strength in the waist. And as you hinge, you can even keep your hands off the floor and notice how much strength your torso uses in this lunge. And try, when you put your fingertips back on the floor, not to put all the weight into your hands, but rather to use the strength of the waist, the front and back body. If this is really unstable, hug the inner thighs. You can always move this right foot more to the right edge of your mat. Okay, that may give you more stability as well. So we're going to twist in this position. So using a block or a blanket, whatever you have, keeping the left fingertips on the floor or on your block underneath the left shoulder. We're going to roll the right shoulder back and turn the heart. So we did this when we were on all fours. So a couple things you might notice here. Your front right knee might widen out to the right. Bring it back in, right? Move the right foot, the whole right leg out further if you need to. But don't let the knee bow out or bow in. Try to keep it over that ankle. Rolling that right shoulder back. So take this right shoulder blade behind you and press it to the wall behind you. And let the left shoulder blade press forward. And if you want to release your fingertips to the sky, you can, but you don't have to. Another thing that happens here is that people drop their head down. We'd like you to keep your forehead a little higher than your chin. Notice how much more comfortable that feels. Beautiful. Each inhale and exhale. Breathe. Open up the heart. Inhale here. Now, I don't look way up at the ceiling when I do this twist. I look where my heart is pointing. It's the most comfortable position for my neck. So think about that. If you tend to want to look all the way up at the ceiling, move your head and neck to where you actually feel more comfortable. Inhale here. And exhale, bring that hand back down. Awesome job. Inhale and exhale. Now step that foot back. It'll take a few movements to do that, but that's okay. There's another leg. We're going to twist on the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. We want to pull the belly in like cat pose so we can bring the left foot forward and line this left ankle up underneath the left knee. We want them to be in line with each other. Fingertips on the floor. Again, if you want to see or feel If your spine is straight here, come up off the floor and roll the shoulders back. And then as you hinge from the hip, you'll see that the spine stays nice and long. And maybe the fingertips, if the fingertips can't come to the floor without you hunching over, that means you really need to put something under the fingertips. We have a nice long position here, long spine, stretching, opening up the back of that left hip. So now we're getting ready to do our twist. So let's think for a minute about the back foot, the right foot. Now I have the top of my foot down. I have issues with my knees. So if you put the top of your foot down, it takes the pressure off the front of your patella, your kneecap, moves it more to the top of your shin. But some folks need the stability of tucking the toes under. So you've got to decide what feels best for you. When we're ready to twist, the right hand stays underneath the right shoulder or on a block or on a blanket, and then inhaling, exhaling, rolling the left shoulder back, turning the heart to the left. Take a look at that left knee. You want to make sure that it's not bowing out to the left or bowing into the right. It's right over that ankle. If you need to move the left leg or left foot a little wider to the left edge of the mat, go ahead and do that. Reach, exhale, feel the belly. Now, pushing away from the floor with the right hand, that right shoulder blade presses forward towards the heart, and the left shoulder blade presses back behind you. Then you can release the left arm up, palm in the same direction, open to the same direction as your face. And again, try not to drop the forehead. Let's lift it up at least to the height of the chin. As we twist, we open up using the shoulder blade action. Whatever your heart points, that's where your face looks. Breathe here for another breath or two or none, or maybe you're done. Inhale here, exhale that left hand down. Inhale and exhale. We're going to step that left foot back in all fours. Awesome job. Beautiful job. We're going to take a lay down on our mat now and do some work on the floor, a little bit more opening for the hips. Okay? So you lay down on your back on the mat. Everybody's favorite place to be. Take a minute. Remember, when you come down from this position, you want to gently ease your down. Okay? Oh, so nice, right? Because when you lay on the floor, it moves your spine into neutral position. Just gravity and the way that your body is made moves your spine into neutral position. It feels really good. So with the knees bent and feet on the floor, inhale here. Exhale your right knee in towards your chest, hand behind the right thigh, and then your left knee in towards your chest, hand behind the left thigh. And just with the knees bent, circle your ankles one direction, and then another. And so I'm holding behind my thighs, and I'm going to straighten my elbows so that my arms are keeping my feet from touching the floor. Inhale here, exhale, bend the elbows, and gently bring the knees in towards the chest. Inhale, straighten the elbows and release. Just a forward bend. And exhale, bring the knees in. So if you're seated in a chair, you're inhaling to sitting taller and exhaling to hinging your chest toward the top of your thighs. And exhale. This is called wind relieving pose, Apanasana. So if stuff happens during this pose and you bring your knees to your chest, it's okay. Inhale, release. And exhale, go in. And inhale, release. And exhale, drop. Beautiful. Let's place both feet on the floor once again, left and right with the knees bent. Bring the right knee in towards your chest and extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. So you can place your hands behind the thigh. And even if you have to bend and unbend the knee a little bit, just to find out where this works for you. Some people have a straighter knee and it's further away from their chest. Some people have a little bit more bend in the knee and it's closer to their chest. So decide what you'd like to feel today. I'm going to put my hands behind my thigh. I'm going to press towards the ceiling through the heel of my foot and the ball of my foot. I'm going to press towards the ceiling, hugging the front of my thigh muscle in a bit so that I can straighten my knee. I just want to practice being able to straighten my knee. So you may have a different idea today. You could even, work with your ankle a little bit more if you want. Point and flex, and then E version. So turning the foot to one side and then to the other side. So side to side. And then also point and flex. You can practice that too if you like. And just kind of relax here. And another way to open up a hip, and we're doing both the back hip and the front hip at the same time, is gently, if you feel good here, okay, gently begin to lengthen the left leg out on the mat, nice and easy. stretching to the back of the left leg. So the heel of the left foot is on the floor. The left foot is flexed as if you were standing on it, toes reaching up towards the ceiling. Try not to let your left toes fall out to the left. Keep them pointing towards the ceiling. So you're stretching through the back of the right leg, and you're engaging the inner left thigh down towards the ground. So that anchoring feeling that you have in the left leg against the floor helps you create more freedom in the right leg. Beautiful stretches both the front of one hip and the back of the other at the same time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we've been twisting. So I would be remiss if we didn't do another twist here. So you have one long leg and on the floor and one long leg on the air. Let's bend this right knee. Bend the right knee. So it is at a 90-degree type angle, right? With the shin parallel to the ground. I'm going to ask you to take your left hand over to the outside of this right leg. Relax your right arm out on the floor, just a little lower than shoulder height. Inhale here. And as you exhale, you may need to bend this right elbow, and that's okay. As you exhale, you're going to twist your lower body, bringing this right leg across your body. So you're rolling onto your outer left hip, outer left leg, left side of the foot. Now, again, this is another great time where you use a blanket or something that you might have your knee on or your foot on. If you have anything there, grab it. So you're twisting the bottom part of your body over to the left. Notice that your right shoulder has come off the floor. Slide the left shoulder blade a little bit more to the left underneath you. See if that helps you open up your shoulder blades enough so that your chest kind of sort of faces. And it's okay if that left leg isn't completely straight. If you have to bend the left knee a little bit, that's okay. Maybe you turn your head towards the ceiling, just breathe. It's okay if this right knee doesn't get to the floor, of course, okay? You just get the right foot to the floor or change the position. You can even rest the right foot on the inside of the left leg. Find where it works for you. It's a twist with one leg long and one leg back. Just breathing. I know this is a challenging twist, but be very mindful again. Rest the right foot, on top of the inner left leg. It's okay. Breathe. Inhale here. On the next exhale, pull the belly button in, hug the inner thighs, and bring yourself back. Nice job. Both knees bend, both feet on the floor. Awesome. Now we're going to bring the left thigh in towards our chest and extend the left foot up towards the ceiling. Some people put their hands behind their thigh. Some people use if you have a strap or you have a belt of some sort or a necktie, you can place it behind the thigh and hold on to that, or a small towel if you don't like to place your hands behind the thigh. And once again, you can point and flex through this left foot, and then you can invert and evert. So in other words, you can kind of turn the foot inner and outer. There you go. Kind of moving the foot at the ankle to the left and to the right. And point and flex. And then finish by pressing through both the heel and the ball of the foot, spreading your toes for a nice long left leg. And you can bend and straighten if this feels good to you. Do what works for your body. I like to squeeze the top of my thigh, which presses the leg in towards my hand. And this helps me straighten my knee, even if I have to move my leg further away from my chest. Because to me, I'd like to straighten my knee every once in a while to know what that feels like. It's up to you how you're feeling. You want to feel. And something I didn't mention on the other side, and I want you to notice the difference. This left thigh bone, see if you can draw it down into the left hip socket more. Let it be heavier. It's almost as if you're pressing the back of your left hip into the ground a little bit more firmly. You feel a difference there. So we're just aiding gravity, letting that thigh bone draw down into the hip socket, which is going to create more congruence, going to create more stability. And then if you like, you have that option to straighten the right leg out on the floor, toes face up toward the ceiling. And we don't want the toes or the leg to turn outward. We'd like to keep it nice and straight if we could, even if the knee doesn't completely straighten. Think of the inner thigh on this right leg and move it downward towards the ground. A little faster than the outer thigh, okay? Awesome. So now we're getting an asymmetrical hip opening, the front of one hip and the back of the other. Nice relationship with the back of the right leg and the floor, whatever's touching the floor, back of the heel, back of the hip, whatever, like you're touching. Take a few breaths here. It can be very challenging to do yoga slowly and to take breaths in each movement, but it helps us understand our body a little better. It gives us a chance to soften into the pose. And now we're going to get ready to add that twist. So you're going to bend this left knee, 90-degree type angle. And you're going to bring the right hand over to the outside of the left knee. And you're going to relax this left hand. So you may need to keep the elbow down and the hand up, or you may be able to put the hand on the floor. Inhale here, and as you exhale, roll over onto the outer right side of your hip. So now you're rolled over with the lower half of your body. So you're on the outside edge of the right leg and the right foot, and you're on the right hip, okay? And you'll notice that your left shoulder blade is way off the floor. Your right shoulder blade, lift it up and slide it to the right a little bit more, and that might help you here. You can place the left hand on the left hip with the elbow on the floor. And this left foot that you have over, maybe you have a blocker, a bolster or something, you can put this left shin on as it crosses over to the right side. Or you can rest that left foot on the inner side of the right leg. It's okay. You can even bend the right knee a little bit more too. Think about your shoulder blades underneath you. See if you can get them to be a little more equal, right? Again, you can kind of lift up and slide out to the right, the back of the right shoulder blade there. And maybe your hands can't relax out on the floor and your chest doesn't face the ceiling yet. It's okay. You can just take a few breaths here. It's a big, big pose. We've been doing some twisting. I just wanted to add that. I'll do just a little bit more before we're done as well. A different twist. Just get a few breaths here, whatever you see. You inhale, as you exhale, hug the belly, knee, and thighs, and bring those legs back. Ooh, hello. Both knees, both feet on the floor. Bring your hips back to the center of the mat. Maybe bring the knees in towards your chest again so you can circle in one direction and the other. The knees come in and go out. Circle across the back of the hips. And go back, make some nice circles. The knees come in and move out. And circle in the other direction. One of my very favorite twists opens up the front of the hips, your soul has, and kind of reminds us about the relationship to our lower back and our pelvis. It's one of my favorite twists. Let's bring our feet to the floor. And we're going to walk our feet and our knees very, very far apart. So we don't want the knees to knock together. We want the knees to be very far apart and the feet to be very far apart. Okay? Reach the arms out, a little lower than shoulder height, palms up. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bring both knees to the left. So you are going to feel your pelvis rock over to the left side. You're going to feel a big opening in front of the right hip and thigh. They're called windshield wipers. You definitely want to feel the pelvis rock over to the side. You can open up in front of the right hip and right thigh. And then inhale, once again, the knees come up, they're still wide apart. And exhale, both knees over to the right. So now you feel the pelvis rock over to the right. And you can feel a big opening in front of the left thigh and hip. You can keep your face looking at the ceiling. Now, if you like the feeling of this and you feel very comfortable with it, you can add on a little bit. Inhale the knees up. And as you exhale the knees over to the left, reach the right arm up overhead. Ooh, did you feel the stretch all the way from the right armpit through the right knee? And you can switch that. Inhale the knees up, bring the right arm down. Exhale the knees over to the right, and maybe lift the left arm overhead. But don't do that if it doesn't feel comfortable, if you can't rest that left arm on the floor. You don't have to lift the arm overhead. You can just increase the stretch. Then you can do it back and forth 1 or 2 more times in any way that works for you, using an arm or not. And just feel the rocking motion of the pelvis from one side to the other. The inhale and exhale. And how you rock from the outer edges to the inner edges of each foot. You rock side to And just in a very relaxed way, once again, from side to side. Gorgeous. And then you're done with these, come back to the center, walk with each other when you feel contented with what you've done. So we can bring the knees into our chest one more time. And you have an option here. Just stay here and rock a little bit, kind of enjoy the movement. If you want a little bit more hip opening, you can do happy baby, okay? So the bottom of the feet face the ceiling. And then I'm going to take my right arm inside of my right leg and hold on to my right shin above the ankle. I'm going to take my left arm to the inside of my left leg and hold on to that inner bottom of my shin. And then as I bend my elbows down towards the ground, I'm going to widen the knees apart and bend. So very often this is called happy baby pose or the birding pose or dead bug. I don't really like dead bug. So you're just holding on to the shins, or you can hold on to the back of the thighs. So you're widening the knees apart and bending the knees in towards each armpit. So it's kind of like a squat. Some people hold the back of the thighs. Some people will hold the area of the shins. Some people can hold on to their big toes. See if you can keep your spine long. Some people that hold their feet or lift their tuchus way off the floor. And that's, you don't really need to do that, right? We want to lengthen the spine in this pose to really feel the hip stretch. You can rock a little bit from side to side, whichever way you're doing this, but it feels good. Now, when you're ready, you can bring the knees together. If you want, you can cross one leg over the other. So if you were going to have coffee with your friend or tea, and then just draw the knees into your chest. And you're going to feel the stretch on one side. On the upper leg side, you're going to feel the stretch. This is just a way, just crossing the legs and having them up in the air. You're going to feel the outer hip stretch. Take a breath or two here. When we cross our legs and fold forward, which can be done in the chair, as long as you're nice and tall, see if your legs are crossed, we stretch the external rotators of the hip, which is your piriformis area, which can be really, really tight, deep into your buttocks, like over onto the side and back of the hip. This can feel really good. And again, can be done seated in a chair, one leg crossed over. And then just switch, and then cross the other leg over, like you're having coffee, or some people do like a number 4 position. Whatever works for you. Or just hug the legs in easy. You can rock a little bit. And you're going to feel the stretch in the other hip. Be gentle, holding onto your body, whatever you decide to hold onto your body. In yoga, we don't ever want to use our hands or arms as well. So that means that we don't yank or pull and wrench anything towards it. Good job. Nice. So we got the front of the hips, the back of the hips, we got the outer sides of the hips, which is great. And release. Bring the feet down to the ground. Now, if you want a little bit more stretch for the inner thighs, you can bring the bottom of your feet together and relax your knees out to the side. This we know is butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Some people find this kind of scary. Soles of the feet together, knees to the side. So if you have blankets or blocks or whatever, or pillows from your couch, you can slide them between the floor and your outer knees. And then you really soften. You really find a way to soften. Good job. So now we've worked around our hips, front to back, side, right to inner thigh. We did some back bending, some forward bending, child's pose. We moved through the 6 movements of the spine. And then when you're finished with Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound ankle pose, you can gently bring the knees towards each other. So now it's time for Shavasana, which is the most difficult and one of the most important poses in yoga. So because we are doing this Zoom together, you can do Shavasana without me. So let the Zoom end or shut the computer off and relax into your Shavasana. So some people don't like to straighten their legs and floor doesn't feel comfortable. So I would say take a blanket, or if you have a bolster, and place it behind your knees so that when you lay down on the mat, your knees, the back of your knees, kind of rest on your rolled up blanket or bolster, right? So that moves your knee joints a little higher than your hip joints. It's very comfortable for your lower back. And you can widen the legs as wide as you feel comfortable and relax your feet, let them roll out. And then just find a way to soften a little bit through the upper body, let everything go. Rock across the back of the skull. You can move the head from having Your chin raised way up or tucked down to a neutral position. And you can put a pillow behind your head, of course. You can put a blanket over you to be more soft, more relaxed. So when you're ready to move into your Shavasana, get the things that you need and like it to keep yourself warm. And maybe close the eyes. And see if with each exhale, you can let different parts of the body relax against the support of the floor. Think about your legs. With an exhale, oh, let them go. Just do that with all the different parts of the body. And then once you feel that you've tried to let these parts of your body, which may be very tight even now, soften and relax just a little bit, come back to the breathing we did in the beginning. Count your breaths on the inhalation up to 2, 3, 4, whatever the count is. And then see if you can count a little longer on the exhalation. So inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just whatever works for you. Some people can exhale twice as long as they inhale, but you just see if you can extend your exhale a little bit longer. Soften your eyes, relax. Just enjoy your Shavasana. Thank you very much for joining me for Rose Club of Rochester for a yoga today. Again, my name is Julie. Hopefully you're feeling good. If you have any comments, please reach out to Karen and I can answer your comments with Karen if you like. Have any questions. Enjoy your Shavasana. Enjoy your breath. May we all find peace no matter what we are given. Namaste, my friends. Namaste.
Hey, Eve.
Your dog is barking. Good job, everybody. Enjoy some rest time.